Good afternoon, students. Welcome to Bridge Course Biology class, and this is the sixth biology class, introductory class. And in the previous video, from the first video onwards, we are observing the cell organelles one by one and the major portions of a cell. Which is cell? Prokaryotic cell or eukaryotic cell? Yes, that is the eukaryotic cell. So in eukaryotic cell, we observed the cell organelles one by one. That is in the previous class. We observed majorly two important cell organelles. So one side Golgi complex and one side mitochondria. And along with the Golgi complex, we observed its one more important product, another major cell organelle, that is the lysosome. And in the previous class, as the previous class concerned, so we call the Golgi complex as the packaging center. Why? Because it helps in the packing, modification and storage of important products that are produced in the cell or by the endoplasmic reticulum. So that work done by the Golgi complex. So that is the packaging center. From the Golgi complex, we got one more product, that is the lysosome. But thing is, Golgi complex, it is a tubular structure made up of two layers. Whereas this lysosome, it is made up of single layer. It is very thin, bubble-like structures filled with enzymes. Which are those enzymes? Yes, lytic enzymes, hydrolytic enzymes. And the enzymes work is breaking something over there. So if any unwanted materials enter over there, or if the cell get damaged, if the cell is old, or cell organelles are old, or cell inside the cell, if anything is going wrong, then at that time, these lysosomes will burst out the chemicals. That means enzyme will come outside and that chemical will kill the entire cell. In a simple way, that chemical make the entire cell to undergo suicide. And because of that reason, lysosomes are considered to be the suicide bags. So that is one side. Another side, we observe the mitochondria, powerhouse of the cell. Why it is considered to be the powerhouse of the cell? Means it produces the energy in the form of ATP molecules by taking that glucose molecule. Actually, if it is taking glucose molecule, means first glucose is broken down a simpler product, that is the pyruvic acid. Actually, one more step is there over. Glucose, first it is broken down into pyruvic acid. So glucose means we are having a 6 carbon molecule, C6H12O6. But whereas when the glucose is broken down, it forms pyruvic acid. Pyruvic acid means it is having 3 carbon compound. Such kind of a simpler acid formed. That acid enters into mitochondria. There ATP molecules get produced. So that is the thing. And yesterday I asked one question while completing the class. The question is that what is the similarity, or not similarity, what is the comparison if I compare two cell organelles, special cell organelles, one side mitochondria, one side chloroplast. If we compare these two cell organelles, what will be the difference in their physiological functions? And their differences will be vice versa. How? So last time I asked the question and asked the many students to send the answers. And of course, many students have sent the answers. And among many students, I personally felt few students' answer was very, very reliable and very near to that one. For mentioning Megha, then Tejashwini, then Vinodini, and one more girl, Bhagya. So these members, what they have sent the answers, so their answers was very accurate. That means the question was simple. The work comparison between the mitochondria and chloroplast. Let me tell you one thing. Chloroplast, it is having its own DNA. Mitochondria, it is also having its own DNA. So both are considered to be the semi-autonomous cell organelles. That is the first thing. Second thing, both the cell organelles, they are having their own ribosomes. That means they can synthesize their own protein molecules. That is the second similarity. Third thing, both the cell organelles are covered by two membranes. Right? And the fourth one, both are semi-autonomous cell organelles. That means they can control their own properties or they can control on their own to some extent. Both are semi-autonomous cell organelles. But if we come to know their differences, major difference, see just chloroplast. If I consider chloroplast, it will produce the major product glucose as a food. Why? Because it will show the photosynthesis. So by the photosynthesis process, chloroplast produce the glucose, right? That glucose broken down by the mitochondria. Before breaking the glucose, it undergoes pyruvic acid form, then it is broken down in that mitochondria. That means chloroplast work is construction of glucose. Mitochondria work is breaking of glucose. That is the first major difference. Second difference, chloroplast, for production of that glucose, it will take carbon dioxide. Which gas? Carbon dioxide. Whereas mitochondria, to break that glucose in the form of pyruvic acid, it will take oxygen. Here it will take carbon dioxide, there that will take oxygen. And here the outcome gas in the chloroplast, from the chloroplast, is oxygen. Their outcome gas is carbon dioxide. Or in the simple way I am conveying it, chloroplast absorbing gas is carbon dioxide, releasing gas oxygen. In case of mitochondria, absorbing gas is oxygen, releasing gas is carbon dioxide. Right? Another major thing. Here, for production of that glucose molecule, it will take water molecule also. Carbon dioxide and water producing the glucose. Carbon dioxide and water producing the glucose. It will take water. Whereas mitochondria will break that molecule, glucose molecule, it releases carbon dioxide along with water. Or simple thing, here carbon dioxide, water absorb, there carbon dioxide, water released outside. That means here whatever the materials have been absorbed, those materials have been removed or revolved from that mitochondria. And the next difference, in the chloroplast, for the production of that food, glucose, we need energy. That means chloroplast need energy in the form of ATP. That means chloroplast will absorb ATP for production of glucose. What about in case of mitochondria? Mitochondria, it will break that same glucose by releasing ATP. That means it will take ATP, that will release ATP. So it is in some sense, it is the energy consumer, that is the energy releasing component that mitochondria is. And major differences, the process, if you want to name the process, here photosynthesis occurs and there cellular respiration occurs. Mitochondria shows the cellular respiration. Right? So again we are having lot of differences. So these are the major differences between the mitochondria and chloroplast. Right? So in today's class, let us continue some other remaining cell organelles. Let me consider the next major cell organelle, plastid. So plastid means, just imagine a sac-like structure. It is a small bag-like structure, plastid. Right? So these plastids are present only in the plant cells, not in the animal cells. Keep this thing in your mind. These are present only in the plant cells, not in the animal cells. So plastid imagines these are small sac-like structures, double membrane structures present in the cytoplasm. So these are the double membrane structures, and these are plastids. So usually, okay, they are present in cytoplasm of a cell. Which cell? Animal cell or plant cell? Plant cell. And these plastids are of two types. Two types of plastids we are having. So the one major type of plastid is, the first one if we consider, that is chromoplast, the first one, and the second one we are having leucoplast. Yes, we are having two types of plastids, chromoplast and a leucoplast. So here the name itself suggests chromo. What is the meaning of chromo? Chromosome. Zome means body. Chromo means color. In the last class I told that one. Here chromoplast is there. That means here plast means, just imagine, plastids are the small bag-like structures, sac-like structures present in the cytoplasm, and those sac-like structures are colorful. Chromoplast. They are colorful very. And in these chromoplast, the major chromoplast is chloroplast. This is the major one. And if we consider leucoplast, leuco means colorless. Yes, our body is having, that means our blood is having majorly three types of cells. Three types of blood cells present in our blood. One is the erythrocyte, one is the leukocyte, one is the thrombocyte. Which are those cells? Once again, erythrocyte, leukocyte, thrombocyte. Erythrocyte means RBC, red blood cell. Leukocyte means WBC, white blood cells. Thrombocyte means platelets. There leuco stands for white. Sometimes we'll refer it as white, but actually that is colorless. Leuco, it is not having any such kind of colors. Leukemia, blood cancer. So there particularly WBC cells get affected. So here leuco means colorless. That means these plastids do not containing any colors, any particular colors. Leucoplast. So there, if you look after these chloroplast separately, if we consider the chromoplast, just I told you, these plastids are containing different colors. Imagine whatever the colors we are having right now till now, or whatever the colors we can recognize in the nature, all the color chromoplast have been present. So that is a major thing. Can anyone tell me how many colors can be possible in flowers? How many types of flowers colors can be possible over there? Different, vast number of colors are present. That means whatever the combination of colors we can do naturally or normally, such kind of flowers are plenty are present in our atmosphere. Whatever the color it may be, red, orange, yellow, white, green, blue, indigo, violet, so many vast colors. And those colors in the flower is because of chromoplast. Are you getting my point? So whenever we will observe a flower, we can say the flower is very vibrant, the flower is very attractive. Why? Because it is having vibrant color. Red color flower, orange color flower, yellow color flower, whatever it might be, whatever the color it might be. And those colors of the petals. So flower petal will be colorful usually. So in the petals, these chromoplasts are present. That means any color. And such kind of color pigments are present in that plastid. Say for example, if this is a plastid, imagine this is one plastid, small sac-like structure, and actually it is the double membrane cell organelle, and inside a lumen is present or gap is there, and here it is having colors. In the layer we can see the colors. If this kind of color is present means, then the total plastids look reddish in color. Such kind of many plastids are present in the cell looks red. Such kind of many cells present in the petal of flower, then that petal looks red in color, just like rose. So such kind of chromoplast, many chromoplasts we are having, those chromoplasts exhibiting different colors. And thing is, where exactly these chromoplasts have been used means, they are used in reproduction process indirectly. So this is the major thing. How the reproduction is concerned with the chromoplast. So that is the thing. See here, during the reproduction in the plants, that is the flowering plants, so the reproduction will occur when the pollen grains are transferred. from stigma to the from anther to the stigma. When pollen grains get transferred, then pollination occurs. Then reproduction, we will say it as a reproduction is occurring over there. So in order to do that one, the flowers have to attract the insects, honeybees, butterflies. Those insects get attracted by the flowers whenever the flowers are vibrant in color. That means when a chromoplast is present in the flower petals, petals are vibrant in color, insects are attracted and helps in the reproduction process. So that is the thing here. And along with that one, we can see these chromoplasts in a variety of vegetables also. Say for example, imagine chili. Just consider one beautiful example. Chili, starting time, it will what will be its color? Chili color. Starting chili color. Yes. Imagine the starting time, the chili color will be a light green color, or sometimes I can say it as a creamish color. It will not be having such kind of vibrant green. As it grows, its color changes to green, and at the maturation time, or when the growth has been reached to the maximum level, then its color converted into, yes, what color? Red color. Creamish white, green and red. I am talking about chili color. Why that color is changing means plastids are changing gradually. Just I said, starting one, it is not having the color, it will be creamish white in color. That chili, starting chili, small chili, that means it is leucoplast. It is having leucoplast, no color. Then gradually it is converted into green color. So green color means chloroplast. That is, green means chloroplast, that is green color. Then finally it is converted into red color. Red color means that is a chromoplast part. That means plastids are gradually changing. Colors are gradually changing over there. Or say for example, one more beautiful example if we consider carrot. Imagine, what is the color of carrot? Yes, reddish pink color carrot. So that carrot, it is a reddish pink in color means because the carrot what we are eating, that the carrot is having chromoplast. That chromoplast is having a particular color. The color name is a carotenoid. What is the color name? Carotenoid. Carotenoid, it is a reddish pink color present in the vegetable. That vegetable will refer it as carrot. Carrot word came from the pigment name carotenoid. So depending on the different colors, we can see the different kinds of chromoplast. And in the chromoplast, the major one is chloroplast. Chloroplast means these are green in color. And whenever we will see the plastid, majorly we will study about this chloroplast majorly. Why? Because it helps in the photosynthesis process. So its a major process is photosynthesis. So it helps in the photosynthesis process. That means production of food in the presence of sunlight. And if we consider this a leucoplast, it is a colorless. Usually its a process is storage of food. So leucoplast work is storage of food material. So whatever the plant going to produce the food, that food gets stored by the leucoplast. And in again leucoplast we are having different kinds. Amyloplast, aleuroplast, aleoplast, like that we are having different types. So their work is storage of food material. Just one example I am giving you. If you take the potato, right? Potato is having one layer. Whether potato is potato is fruit. This is one question. Tomorrow you can ask, answer this one. 3 items: potato, sugar cane. What we are eating, that what we are having, sugar cane, potato, sugar cane, and a carrot. What all these 3 are? We will eat all these three, whether these are fruits or not. Potato, sugar cane, and a carrot. Okay. So if you consider potato, it is having one layer. If we peel out the layer, inside we can see that a creamish whitish color structure, solid structure, that actually we are eating. What actually that contains? That contains starch. That means stored carbohydrate material. That is the food actually. That means food is stored over there. That means that total portion, it is having a leucoplast. So that is a storage of food material. Or in the same way, so their carbohydrates stored actually. Or if we consider groundnut seed, if we squeeze the groundnut seed, dried groundnut seed, we will get the lipid content outside, oil content outside. There also food is stored, and there also it is having leucoplast. So in general thing I am saying is, wherever the food is stored, there we can see the leucoplast, right? Majorly. So leucoplast, storage of the food, chloroplast, majorly photosynthesis process, and apart from this one, remaining colors plastids, that means chromoplast, they help in majorly attracting the insects for the pollination process to occur and helping for the reproduction. Like that we are having different kinds of plastids. There if you consider this chloroplast majorly, so chloroplast, it is going to absorb the carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and mixes with the water in the presence of sunlight. So this is the famous general reaction that already you know. Carbon dioxide combines with water in the presence of sunlight to produce glucose, C6H12O6. So this is the glucose, right? And here this overall process occurs with the chloroplast. Carbon dioxide already available in the atmosphere, water get absorbed by the root, both get mixed. Where? Both get mixed. Where? That is in the chloroplast. And that chloroplast, it is having pigments. Pigments means colors. What is the famous color here? Chlorophyll. The famous color is chlorophyll, green in color. And that green color chlorophyll will absorb sunlight. And here why the sunlight is necessary means, sunlight is the only the energy source for this earth. Because of sunlight only we are in the living condition. All the activities, all the whatever the organism it might be, it may be plant or animal or any kind of microorganism, if they are in the living condition, if they are performing work, means for that work to happen, the energy given by that sunlight, either directly or indirectly, right? We are eating the plant, that means we are getting the food from the plant. By that food our body is getting the energy. How that plant is getting the energy? That is from the sunlight. That means sunlight is the major source of energy, and that energy is light energy actually, and our ATP is the chemical energy. Light energy get converted into chemical energy by this one, this process. Carbon dioxide combines with water in the presence of sunlight to produce glucose. Along with the glucose, majorly we are getting oxygen liberated outside. Here carbon dioxide absorbed, their oxygen release outside. So we are going to get the glucose. It is the energy molecule actually. But thing is, energy present in the stored form. Whenever we are breaking this glucose, energy will come outside and again get stored in the ATP form. And that ATP energy get used by different cell organelles or for other activities. So this is the thing related to the plastids. And one more thing, here I am giving just a brief introduction related to these cell organelles. Actually, if you want to look at these cell organelles, so it is a vast concept actually, right? And the last one, majorly we are having one more cell organelle, that is vacuole. Yes. And what these two cell organelles I have written, these are the major cell organelles of plant cell. So it is majorly present, it is only present in the plant cell majorly, and that is also majorly present in the plant cell, vacuole. Imagine vacuole means it is a big balloon like structure or bubble like structure in the cell. Just one thing, if you want to look at the animal cell and plant cell under microscope, usually we can see the nucleus of animal cell at the center. But in case of the plant cell, we can see the nucleus just away from the center or at the edge, peripheral side of the cell. the question will be arised. Why always we will look, that means if the plant cell is matured, if the plant cell is large, then we can observe the nucleus at the peripheral side. The question will be arised. Why in case of plant cell, nucleus is present at peripheral side? That is boundary, towards the boundary inside the cell. Why? Because majority of the cell volume occupied by the vacuole. So it is like this. So for example, imagine this is the plant cell, and here the plant cell is smaller one here. That means young plant cell. We will consider it as a meristematic cell. That means a small young cell, a dividing cell. So it is one small cell. And here imagine this is the nucleus right now we are having, and here small bubble like or small balloon like structures we are having in the cell. Those are just looking like air sacs. Such kind of small cells are present. And here when the cell becomes bigger, when the cell, okay, let me draw here larger one, right? When the cell get larger one, when the cell is matured or when the cell has attained the maximum size, at the time if you observe the nucleus, so nucleus will be present at one center, at one corner, at one side. And why it is at one side means, so here the cell maximum space, it is occupied by one organelle. That cell organelle, large, this is the cell organelle, one cell organelle. And this organelle we will refer as vacuole. It is a big structure. To what extent means, it can occupy 50 to sometimes 90% of cell space. That means cell inner space, how much is there, that cell inner space? So in that one, 50 to 90% of space get occupied by that vacuole itself. And because of that reason, it will push the nucleus towards one side, right? And why it is that much of important for plant cell? Animal cells we cannot see such kind of structures usually, and in the plant cells these are the major things. Why it is so? Why it is in such kind of condition means? So here this vacuole, it get occupied by different materials inside. It is a balloon-like structure occupied with different kinds of materials. Or I can say that this is the storage room, right? So it is acting just like a storage room. Just like our home, just like our house. For house we will be having one storeroom, small storeroom or large storeroom for storing materials. Sometimes in the storeroom we can store the waste materials, unwanted materials, or sometimes we can store the very useful materials at one place, that is in the storeroom. So in here also, that storage room, it might be used for storing useful materials or waste materials, whatever it might be. That is acting just like one storage room. And here this vacuole, majorly it is acting as osmoregulator. That is a major thing. Osmo means it is concerned to water. Osmoregulator means, just we heard one term, osmosis, concerned with water. Osmoregulator means that vacuole, it is the regulator of water level inside the cell. So for example, imagine cell will be having 70 to 90% of water. That means total cytoplasm, water it is majorly. And that water level is constantly maintained by the cell. So this vacuole, it is having lot amount of water, and how much water it will absorb, in that sense cell will maintain its shape. Turgidity, we will refer it as turgidity or rigidity. Imagine just one thing, small thing. This is the cell right now. It is having one shape, particular shape. Inside vacuole is present big vacuole and accumulated with water. Imagine, just for understanding purpose I am saying, take one pin and I will puncture this vacuole. Not exactly like that, just one imagination. I'll puncture this vacuole. Major amount of water will come outside. If the water come outside means what about the shape of the cell? Then the shape will be shrunken. Whenever it will absorb the water, then the shape will be maintained in the particular shape. It will get on particular shape. That means osmoregulator, that means a vacuole, it will absorb, when water is less, it will absorb water. When water is already more, it will not absorb the water. In that sense, it will maintain a constant water level inside the cell. Because of that reason, we will refer it as osmoregulator. That is the thing. Right? And along with that one, so along with this one, we can consider this osmoregulator is giving rigidity to the cell. And the question will be arise, why the vacuoles are particularly present in the plant cells only? Imagine, just one giving general illustration I am giving you. When we will drink the water? When we will drink the water? Whenever we feel thirsty, then only we will drink the water, or sometimes after the lunch, after the dinner, we will have the water. But thing is, we will not always continuously drink water. That means at regular intervals, we will drink the water. What about the plants? Plants will absorb water continuously. Why? Because through the water only the plants are getting their minerals, other important components present in the soil. See how we are getting the food in such a way that plants are absorbing their requiring food materials from the soil, and that food is dissolved in the water. Hence, plant roots have continuously absorbed the water. Imagine continuously water is moving through the plant body means that the plant continuously filled with water means at one time cells may burst. Just like balloon, continuously if we are blowing the balloon means, so balloon size gradually increases, again we are blowing means the balloon will burst. Here also continuously water entering means there may be chance of death of those cells, plant cells. To avoid that one, inside a cell, someone has to balance the water level. If water level less, has to increase. If the water level already more, has to maintain it or has to less it. So such kind of water level balanced by vacuole. Hence it is considered as osmoregulator. When water is present in the optimum level or in a sufficient level in the cell it will attain a particular shape. That means cell will be strong, will have rigidity. So vacuole will perform that work, that rigidity work. And inside are marked different with a different colors. That means vacuole, it is having a different materials. So it may be filled with amino acids, that vacuole. What these amino acids are? Amino acids will help in the formation of protein. Protein get formed by the amino acids only. That means if the protein is a bigger structure, amino acids are the building block like structures. And it might be having protein also, this vacuole inside. Or it might be having organic acid. Or it might be having sugar. Sugar means any carbohydrate, simple carbohydrate or complex one. It might be having the sugar, and it might be having waste material also. Cell waste material, or it might be having, majorly it is having water. So water, waste material, sugar, organic acid, proteins, amino acids and minerals, different materials, they might be present in the vacuole. So hence it is considered to be the storage room. So there the major component is water, right? And this vacuole, in some organelles it will work in a different manner. Say for example amoeba. If I consider amoeba, imagine we are having the amoeba. So whether amoeba is prokaryotic or eukaryotic? Yes, amoeba is eukaryotic. So it is having the nucleus, and inside the amoeba, for this amoeba if you consider, here the food particle is there here. Now amoeba is moving in the water like this. It is not having any particular shape. In front of the amoeba, food particle is present. Now the amoeba will engulf that food. It will totally engulf that food. How it will engulf means, just imagine the food comes near to the amoeba. So amoeba, it is having pseudopodia. All these structures are pseudopodia. That means false leg structures. When imagine the food is nearer here. The food comes here, from here to here. At that time, what this amoeba will do is, it will circle the total food like this. It will totally cover that food. That process we will call it as engulfing. That process we will call it as engulfing, right? And after surrounding, here the plasma membrane get joined like this, right? Now the food entered inside, surrounding food, one membrane formed. That membrane, it is just acting like a stomach. What is the work of our stomach? Stomach will take the food and digest it. Here the food is there and this is acting just like a temporary stomach. So inside food get digested continuously. Now this material will move surrounding inside like this. Continuously it will move just like a mixer and a grinder. So inside material get digested. Food get digested. And food covered by that layer total, we will refer it as food vacuole. What is this one? Food vacuole. Amoeba inside it is containing the food vacuole. So that is a general vacuole for storage purpose. And here this is for the capturing the food and for the digesting food here. So this is the food vacuole, right? And sometimes we might be having the contractile vacuole, excretory purpose vacuoles. So different kinds of vacuoles we are having depending on the function cell's need. So in the amoeba, we can see the food vacuole. Or in sometimes in the vacuole, air gets stored for the floating purposes. So different works can be done. So here one side we observe that plastid, the one side we observe that vacuole, and one more centrioles are there, ribosomes are there, another so many microfibrils are there, so that means endoskeletal systems are there, again different parts are there. But when we'll come to know our first PU syllabus, when we'll start our first PU syllabus, we can study all these in detail again, along with those cell organelles also. So this is the minor details we are getting about these cell organelles. Whenever we'll come to know our first PU syllabus, then we can go thoroughly at that time. Yes? And one more thing. Okay. The chapter get finished. Actually, cell division concept one more is there in this chapter in our 9th. But I think a cell division, if you want to start, means again it will take 1 week. So it is again vast concept. So I think, I hope, let us finish this chapter here itself. So from the next video onwards, I'll bring one more interesting concept, chapter or concept, another basic concept, right? I hope you are getting what I am saying. If you are not getting exactly what we are teaching here, so you are already having in the group already you are having our numbers as admin. So to that number you can message or you can give any kind of messages. There is any kind of problems that you are facing in the chapters, right? So in the next video, let us start with another new interesting concept. Yes, thank you.